The Solo Coach Podcast.
Good morning, Angela.
Morning.
And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to anyone that's listening. Welcome, Angela, to the Solo Coach Podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's not the first time that we've been recorded together, as we did an actual interview together last year for the Animas podcast. But the idea of today's session this morning is it's not an interview. My intention is to record a live coaching session that we may or may not choose to release. We're going to decide that at the end. So if we do choose to release it, if you're listening to this, this is designed to be just a demonstration of what coaching is, how it works, and if it may be of interest to you, if you are listening or watching. So just to make it abundantly clear, I am not looking to use this recording to pass a coaching exam. So I might not be coaching by the ICF book, but what I'm hoping to do is have a quality conversation with Angela and help her to move forward and progress with what it is that she'd like to work on. So now I've got that disclaimer out of the way and there's no risk of failing. Angela, I would love to start by, firstly, just mentioning it's a really warm day for me today. As mentioned before we started the recording, I've got some windows open. If there's any noise from outside, I apologise. If I get a buzz on my door from a delivery person, I might just have to scurry away to sign for a delivery. I hope that's okay.
Absolutely fine. That's life.
Absolutely. And are you comfortable and ready to get started today?
I am, yeah.
Fantastic. So me and Angela have known each other for quite a while, and a couple of years actually. We've had the pleasure of coaching each other back and forth, and hence we have contracted together many times. But just briefly today, Angela, what you share within this space is going to be completely private and confidential between the two of us. And should we wish to release it to the world, we may, we will decide that together at the end of the recording. And while we have our conversation, are you comfortable and happy for me to make some notes on my notepad?
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you very much. So with no further ado, I'll hand you the floor. What would you like to talk about together today?
Yeah, well, I was thinking what was my most pressing issue of the day, or of the moment, really. And one thing that's really kind of a source of big frustration at the moment is that obviously I've got a small coach. Well, it's not obvious, but I've got a coaching business. So I'm the same as you. I'm a transformative coach, and my kind of interest area is dealing with midlife women and all their problems that they can experience through that life stage. And also very passionate about getting people to be the best that they can be. So I've got this long list of things that I want to do within my business to kind of develop the business. And on this list, there are a list of things that I'm really, really excited about doing. So that is not a problem. I'm highly motivated to do these things. But the problem is that I don't have any formal strategy in place. And therefore, on a daily basis, because I'm at home and I don't have any other formal work, I find myself firefighting other areas in my life. For much of the time, it dominates my whole time, really. And I'm not spending enough time on the business in terms of sitting down for certain hours on certain days and, doing these things on this list that I'm excited about. So, yeah, lack of a formal strategy. And therefore, I'm not getting the clients I want. I'm not making the money that I want. And I feel frustration on a daily basis. because of this.
Thanks for sharing, Angela. Where would you like to get to by the end of today's session? We've got about 45 minutes.
Yeah. I think I'm really looking for clarity, because if I can feel really clear on what I'm trying to get to exactly and how I'm going to do it, I think that is going to really help me. Because when I feel clear about something, everything just falls into place and it's kind of easy. It just flows a lot better. So yeah, clarity is a key word. Some kind of process, I think, in terms of to get these things all in place and working better for me.
Thanks, Andrew. So you're looking for clarity of what you want to do and how you want to do it, and some kind of process. And how would you know that we had achieved that outcome at the end of today's session?
I think it will just be with the clarity aspect. I think it'll be just like an honest, like, yes, I've got there. I feel much more confident and more relaxed about where I'm heading and how I'm going to get there. So it'll be a relaxed feeling. And with the process, I think it will be a case of almost like a list of 1 to 5. This is what I'm going to do first. And I don't mean things within the strategy, but in terms of getting my weekly routine sorted out, and also how I'm going to do that. So it's almost like the overview of the process of getting to that, doing the things.
So I heard there, if I may reflect, Angela, by the end of today's session, you'd like a feeling of clarity on what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and some kind of process around it. And you will know we've got there because you'll feel more relaxed and have some kind of list, for example, a list of 1 to 5, a weekly routine, something concrete that you can refer to and use for moving forward with some kind of a strategy, a template.
Yeah, that's it.
Good stuff. So on that note, where shall we begin?
Well, I'm thinking the motivation bit isn't the problem, I believe, because as I said, I'm excited about all the things on the list, although it's not happening the way I want it to at the moment. So I think just looking at what's stopping me exactly in doing the things as much as I want to be doing would probably be a good place to start.
So motivation isn't a problem, but you'd like to start with what's stopping me from doing the things. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah. As I was saying at the beginning, I find because my list is not only coaching things, obviously I've got life stuff on the list. And everybody who works at home will know this. There's always things pressing that you could just do if you chose to do them. And I feel that sometimes I spend, maybe 70% or 80% of the day doing those things just because they feel like they're bigger pressing priorities than the coaching things. So actually, I've just realised something as I said that. The coaching is not my number one priority. And is that right or is it not right? Yeah, that's not right. Because if it was my number one priority, that's the thing I'd be doing 80% 70% of the time. So why does it not feel like my priority? I think there's a lot of, I think I focus more on the shoulds rather than the wants. I think all these shoulds, you know, keeping the washing pile down or organising family holiday or sorting out my mum's insurance issue because my mum needs help with that these days. All these things feel more priority just because I feel I should be on top of them and doing them. Although actually, if I ask myself what's really important to me and what I want most out of everything is to get this coaching business working for me. So I just think I'm not prioritizing my own needs enough.
I'm curious, Angela, what would prioritizing your own needs look like?
I think that would be taking control and saying, right, 4 days this week or 3, whatever I decide, I'm going to spend from 9 o'clock to, I don't know, 4 o'clock doing coaching related stuff. Obviously with break. I'm not suggesting I'm not going to have lunch or anything, but you know, a big block of time where I'm going to do the coaching stuff. And that actually thinking about that, just saying that out loud actually excites me because I just think, gosh, if I had a whole day, I could really make good progress on that, you know, deciding which website company I'm going to use or, you know, getting my next email marketing email sorted out. I could really get that sorted. And that excites me to think about the results that that would then bring. And it would get me on that kind of flow or cascade of stuff happening, which is what makes me feel excited.
Can you tell me more about that flow or cascade that makes you feel excited?
Yeah, because doing all the monotonous daily chorey stuff, yeah, you kind of think, okay, I can tick that off my list. Hooray. But it's not exciting. It's dull and it's necessary. It needs to be done still, but it doesn't give me any kind of fulfillment or a sense of achievement or a sense that I'm really pushing things on and really making changes for the better, for the kind of um for the reason of the ultimate goal, which is to get this life coaching business off the ground and working for me.
The ultimate goal to get this
Mm,
life coaching business off the ground and working for me.
mm.
So it feels like there's a bit of a battle, Angela, I'm hearing between the shoulds and the wants. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
In that analogy you mentioned of spending, was it 4 days a week working from 9 till 5, working on
4, because the
nine till
kids come
4,
home and then everything goes pear-shaped.
working on coaching? What's the barriers or obstacles standing in between you and getting there?
Mm. Well, the first one, which is a big one, is that it's not written in my diary, you know, because if it's written in my diary, that really works for me. because I honor what's written in my diary, because it's in there for a reason. And if it's in my diary, I will have thought about it in advance. So it's kind of, I guess it's the prefrontal brain. I've planned it. I've want to do it, and it's in the diary. So I would then respect my planning, and I would do it. So that would be one thing I could do. Although, as I also just said, is that the other stuff is still there and it won't go away. It still needs to be done. So it's finding still slots for them within a day, but not dominating the whole day. So keeping it in its place.
How is it currently? How are those things currently dominating your day, as you described?
Because I let them. So, I might, because if I'm currently anxious about something or worried about something, for example, the family holiday hasn't been organised yet, and I'm worried, I call it whittling. It's a northern phrase, you might know it, David, whittling about it. It's not so big as a worry, but it's nagging me in my back of my mind every day. Oh, I'll get that family holiday booked. So I feel that I need a big, like an afternoon or a morning, just to sit down, do the research, get it booked, sorted. But because I'm not giving that the time it requires to get it done, I'm kind of piecemealing it, maybe do an hour there and half an hour there, and it's not giving me the result I'm looking for, as in holiday booked. Because then I could just say, right, ta-ta, family holiday. I've sorted that now. So that's in my mind, it's a big thing that needs to be sorted out. So um, I do need to find space for the other things. But as I say, I want to tip the balance the other way around. So 80, 70% coaching and 20, 30% other stuff.
Mm. I sense that control, a bit of a battle with control going on, that you're wanting to control and to not let things get on top of you and take up all of your time and define your diary. And you
Mm,
prefer that you were the kind of the boss of your day
mm,
and your time, in control of your time, and you decided what's going to get done and when, rather than the other way round.
yes, exactly that. And in fact, it's funny because even though I feel like I'm the one making the decision, well, I am the one making the decisions about what I choose to do, I don't feel in control because I'm not making happen what I want to make happen ultimately.
And has it always been like that?
If I look back at my kind of previous way of being, I've always been a big list person, tick, 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 get my list of tasks done. I'm very task orientated, very systematic, but I've also achieved everything I've wanted to achieve. So I do get it done, and I kind of have that confidence that I will get it done, but it might not be as timely as I want to get it done.
So,
Increasing efficiency. I want to increase my efficiency.
right. So I heard you say I do get it done and I will get it done. I'm someone who gets stuff done, but just not in the time window that I'd like it to
Mm,
be done in. And I'd like more efficiency.
yeah.
How would that be? How would that look?
I think one of the things, and this is from um, the life coach school, Brooke Castillo, who I listen to regularly, and her idea is a fantastic idea, and I could see how it can work. And her thought is that if you give something an allotted time to do something, so if you give yourself a whole day to sort out a family holiday, hooray, you got a whole day, delicious time to do it. Okay, you may achieve the same result after a whole day as you would if you just gave it 1 hour. She's a big believer in that. That's how she lives her life. And I really get that because, it's like when you go from full-time work to not working or, looking after kids instead, you've got more time, more, quality time to yourself. But do you get any more done than you did before? No, you get less done because you've got more time. It sounds ridiculous. It's like ask a busy person, if you want something done. It's exactly that. And it works. So, well, I guess what I'm saying is that I need to give things a given allotted amount of time, and then to say to myself, by the end of that time, I'm going to have finished or completed what I set out to achieve.
So I've heard that principle as well, that tasks expand to fill the time allotted to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So by applying that principle to yourself, to your diary, that could enable you to take back some control of your day, of your time.
Yeah, because I think it will increase my efficiency and just get rid of the distractions. It's very easy just to, just see who that WhatsApp message was from. None of that, just pure doing the thing that you set out to do.
Are those distractions another barrier to you getting where you want to be?
Yes, definitely one of them.
One of them.
Mm,
Because to recap, you were mentioning that some of the barriers are not having things written in your diary, and then
yeah.
another one is finding slots to allocate things to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to what other barriers are currently standing in the way of you being in control of your time.
Um, I think it's really getting that energy, the push in my mind is kind of push forward energy. So if I get a thought in my brain about a specific thing that I want to achieve, and somehow sometimes I get really suddenly quite inspired, and just something that happens or something I read or something somebody says, and it just gives me that energy, and I just think, right, I want to do it now. I'm going to sit down and do it now, like an article, or because you just feel absolutely fired up. You know exactly what you're going to write down, and then they're the moments that incredibly efficient, because it's you just feel so inspired, and like there's energy behind what I intend to do.
Mm. What enables those high energy moments of incredible efficiency when you feel laser focused and I absolutely must do this thing right now? Because I felt
Mm,
it in your voice.
yeah. Well, that happened the other day, and the really frustrating thing was, when I think about it afterwards, is that I didn't do it in that moment because then something happened, distraction from the family, or I had to cook dinner or something. And then when I went back to it at a later stage, it just felt a bit more arduous. It felt a bit more of an effort because I wasn't in that moment where I'm all keyed up and ready to go.
So the moment had passed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what created that. I think what it was, I had an idea. I just had suddenly it just came to me, an idea of like a creative idea of what I wanted to write about. And I just thought, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of was working it all out in my mind. And it would have felt easy just to blurb it all out on paper, even if I then had to edit it afterwards. I would have got the main thrust of what I was trying to get across down.
I'm curious as if there's any way that we could create more of these, enable more of these high energy moments to happen.
Mm. I wish I could remember what I was doing at the time. You know what? It's funny. It's a really good question because actually, if I trace it back, I think I was doing something that I enjoyed at the time. I think I was probably playing pickleball because I always come out of those sessions feeling full of energy, like ready to take things on, you know, like I can, I'm really on top of everything. That's the feelings it kind of creates inside me. So it probably would have been something like that, or it might have been a walk where I was just thinking and not listening to something in my headphones, It's space, isn't it? It's space to think about these creative things and to be inspired by, I don't know, nature or the game of pickleball.
Mm. So it's like these high energy moments typically follow a period of like physical activity and some time in nature and time
Mm,
when your mind's free to explore, but physically
mm,
you're occupied.
yeah, yeah. So not thinking of the thing I'm trying to think about, thinking of other things, having space to just let my mind flow. And that's when things come to you.
Because you've created that mental space
Mm,
for to enable an insight and the ideas to start to pour in.
yeah, exactly. That makes me realize how important that stuff is. Oh, no, I know logically that it is, but I probably need to leave even more space for that as well.
I think I'm curious as to we've switched into from going talking about time to talking about energy, and I'm
Mm.
curious as to how your diary looks from an energetic perspective.
Um, I do have fun things planned in, so it's not all work, work, work. I do play pickleball generally twice a week. I go to singing rehearsals roughly 2 to 3 times a week. So I do have the work and also have the play. Um, would I like to do more walking? Yes, I would love to do more walking. 'Cause sometimes I'm sitting inside, I'm looking outside thinking, oh, I'd really, really love to be out there, especially in this lovely weather. And sometimes you do what you do what you think you should do rather than sit there and try to keep working, rather than doing what you feel like doing. And actually, sometimes that's probably counterproductive because if I got out for the walk, that might inspire me some way to then come back and do the thing that I was trying to work on with much more clarity and energy and focus.
Because you've set yourself up for success in a way.
Mm,
You've
mm,
primed yourself for it to happen.
yeah.
I'd love to ask you, Angela, what would a day look like if it was a complete clear day in your calendar, an empty sheet, presuming
Mm.
it's a page by page? Um, what would it look like if it was a whole day of everything you wanted, but all wants and no shoulds?
Oh, I'd definitely be doing something coaching wise. So I'd be doing a morning or an afternoon of seeing clients or running a workshop or doing a bit of collaborative work with somebody, another coach. Um, I would meet a friend for lunch or a coffee. I would do some singing, so whether a rehearsal or a performance. And what else? Sitting outside, because I love being outside for some part of it, or walking.
So you said for a perfect day on your calendar, perfect a day of wants as opposed to shoulds. There'd be an element of coaching, so seeing clients, running a workshop, some collaborative work. Then you'd be meeting a friend for lunch or coffee. Then you'd be doing some singing, and finally you'd be sitting or walking outside, spending some time in nature.
Mm. Yeah.
How would that day feel?
It would be very relaxing, and I'd feel great because I'm helping people with the coaching and working with people, which I enjoy. I like being around people, but I do like my own space as well. So I don't want to be around people all the time. I do like my own space, hence why I'd sit outside and reflect or maybe read. Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, reading for an hour, or at least an hour in a lovely, quiet, peaceful place in nature. Yeah.
Sounds like a marvelous day. Wouldn't mind that
Mm.
day myself. So given what we've just discussed, where are we now? Where shall we go next?
Yeah, I've definitely got more clarity already. It's made me realize that the things that I kind of feel are luxuries, like the walking or the pickleball or the singing, is actually the thing that gives me the gets the creative juices flowing, which then helps me to do the more dry stuff, the stuff, the work that gets me closer to where I want to be. I've also reminded myself that it has to be in my diary. If it's going to get done, it needs to be in my diary. Even the nice things need to be planned in my diary. So to make sure I've got that balance. And I'm looking for, I think, a 70 to 30% balance in favor of coaching work. And the other stuff needs to be the 30%. And also I need to be really strict with myself in terms of getting distracted, because I am in control of whether I look at a message or a notification. I just want to be focusing on exactly what it is I'm focusing on for that whole time that I've allotted to it.
I'm wondering, Angela, that you mentioned earlier that these moments of insights that get the creative juices flowing, you're often physically practically doing something, whether it's playing pickleball, whether it's walking or reading, spending time in nature, not reading, sorry. It's physical moments of physical
Mm.
activity give you, while that's going on, you have the mental headspace that then leads to typically those high energy moments where you feel inspired and the ideas come flowing and the creative
Mm.
juice is flowing. And I'm
Mm.
curious as to, is there a way, is there an opportunity for those moments to be created whilst you're doing some of the shoulds?
Mm. That's a good question. I mean, yes, potentially, because, when I put the washing out on the line, that's 5-10 minutes of thought time. So that doesn't need to be wasted time. And when I clean the bathrooms or the house, which doesn't happen very often, but when I do, I put my podcasts on because I love that time, because I'm not so bored by cleaning. I'm actually enjoying it because I'm enjoying listening to the podcast. So there is time that I can do the creative stuff as well, just doing some of those.
So I'm envisaging like if I had a whiteboard with me, I'd draw it. They're in the other
Mm.
room. I'm envisaging like a Venn diagram of the two circles, the
Mm.
shoulds and the wants, and then the bit in the middle where they overlap. And
Mm.
one example you gave there was cleaning at the same time as
Mm.
listening to a podcast. That sounds like it's a want where a want meets a should.
Yes. Yeah, making it fun. I'm making the boring, in my opinion, um, task more interesting, more exciting.
Hmm. So I'm wondering if, because at at the beginning we had this dichotomy, this sort of black and white shoulds and wants, and
Mm.
I'm wondering about the grey area in between. Grey
Hmm.
sounds dull. Let's call it the green area. That sounds nice. The green
Mm.
area in
Yep.
between, where
Yeah.
the shoulds and the wants coexist in a kind of harmony, rather than a kind of butting against each other.
Mm. Yeah, it's a very, very good question. Yeah, I've even drawn it out for myself just to try and visualize it. Um, they're in their place, as in the 30% rather than the 70%. And I make them as fun as I can with the two examples I just gave. I think I'm not going to stress so much about them. And I know that doesn't really answer your question, but I just need to make sure they take up less time than they're taking now, and to do them in a more fun way wherever possible.
Your voice broke up just a little bit at the beginning there. Can you repeat just that?
Mm.
You said 30, 70%?
Yeah, I was just saying this doesn't directly answer your question because I'm not sure what the answer would be, but as long as the shoulds are the 30% of my time rather than the current 70%, I think I will feel a lot happier about them because they will be in their place. And if I can make them as fun as I can with, the two examples I gave before, I think I won't stress about the fact that they're there so much.
And how realistic and achievable does that feel?
It feels achievable just because what I mentioned before about giving something an allotted time and just making sure it's done within that allotted time, rather than just saying, oh, I need to get that done and just ticking when it's done, which doesn't give it any allotted time. I think I need to do that. And yeah, yeah, I've forgotten the thread of what I was just going to say there, but yeah, I need to make them time oriented.
You're talking about things having an allotted time.
Yeah.
It's easier to manage and to stay on top of because it feels like it's more
Mm.
on your terms, is what I
Yeah.
my understanding.
Yeah, definitely. And also the thought of 70% coaching in my diary really makes me feel excited because I've got this list of really great things that I want to achieve. And they're hard. A lot of them are hard because I've got to upskill myself in lots of areas, with the marketing and the design, graphic design and all that. But that's a challenge to me. And those things make me feel inspired and excited. So my day ahead, if tomorrow, for example, was going to be like that, my day ahead would feel more exciting, like I would want to get up and get on with the day because it's really what I want to be doing rather than what I feel I should be doing all the time.
As the majority of the day is coaching, and therefore the majority of the
Mm.
day is on your terms and is in the wants space rather than
Yes,
shoulds.
yes, yeah, exactly.
So, what else do we need to do today? Or a better question is, where are we now in terms of our outcome that we were looking for by the end of today's session?
Yeah, so clarity, yes, definitely achieved more clarity. In terms of process, I think I do have a process in my head at the moment. Maybe I should just get these down while I'm thinking about them. So the process in order to get to, I think strategy is the wrong word, because I'm not going to sit down there and write a business plan or strategy as such. I will at some point, but not imminently. But process would be get my diary working for me 30% division of those things. Get diary sorted would be number one. Number two would be don't allow distractions. Get diary sorted, don't allow distractions. Give allotted times to things and get it done within that time. And also to act on those energy moments, like I said, I was really inspired that time, just to act on them and don't let it go, because that's really important. Yeah. Yeah, so that kind of feels better. That feels like I've got things, like concrete things I can actually do now. And it just makes me feel more orderly in my head, and like I've got, this is how I'm going to get it working for me.
So I also wrote them down, Angela. And what I heard was getting the diary in order with the 30 to 70 division.
Yeah.
Don't allow distractions. Give a lot of time to things and get them done during that allotted time, and act on those high energy moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No, I don't think so. That feels kind of better. I feel more organized in my head about it.
Have we done today what we set out to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Fantastic. And I believe that we're going to schedule a session after we stop the recording for the next couple of weeks, roughly. Would that feel a suitable amount of time?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, 2 weeks is good. It'll give me plenty of time to get it in action.
And then we can review again. Brilliant.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Sounds great.
So in that case, if you're happy and comfortable for me to do, I shall we shall conclude the coaching session there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Angela. That was fabulous. Really enjoyed it. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you to everyone who's listening. If you listened, you feel inspired, you're curious, or maybe you're thinking, oh my goodness, that was not what I was expecting, please reach out. I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your feedback, and I'm sure Angela would too. So yes, all that's to say from me, Angela, is thank you very much for today.
Thank you, David. I enjoyed it too.
The Solo Coach Podcast.